Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back with a huge VHS haul.
Let's get physical, physical. I wanna get physical.
Media. I've added over 60 new VHS tapes to my collection over the last month or two, so I'm going to try to get through them quickly. It's worth mentioning that there are a lot of very rare VHS tapes in this update, and I'll scatter them throughout the video, so try not to skip around too much. You might miss something good. First up is a screening copy of Night Watch. This here is the 1997 American remake. Next is Blood and Lace. This tape was sourced from a fully uncut version of the film from Japan. Here's The Creeps. This is the first of a bunch of full moon tapes that will be appearing in this update, including Charles Band's Blood Dolls. Here's a very rare and highly sought after sex comedy, Gimme an F. It also happens to have a very faded cover, but considering this tape is so rare, I had to pick it up. Here's Creature, a media release, and the key video release of Anguish to go along with my Anchor Bay clamshell tape. Here's Night After Night, which is a pretty rare tape itself. A lot of these Studio One releases are rare. Next up is Head of the Family, another full moon movie, and more full moon with the Vestron release of Trancers. And here's a full moon screening copy of Demonic Toys. This tape is insanely expensive, and I have no idea why. And another full moon screener, Bad Channels. I grabbed a still sealed copy of The Bad Seed to go along with my copy of Mommy on VHS. Here's one of my favorites, Santa Sangre. This is the NC-17 cut of the film. I grabbed a copy of Animal House on VHS. I love the cover art on this release. Here's an X-Files tape. This one includes the episodes Little Green Men and The Host, one of which will be appearing in my TV Scaries series at some point. Here's one you don't see often, Murderous Vision. And a classic that belongs in every collection, Police Academy. I'd love to get the rest of these films on VHS as well. I picked up Miracle Mile on VHS. This is an awesome movie and I haven't seen it in such a long time, so I cannot wait to revisit it. Here's a nice dose of nostalgia for you. Vanilla Ice, Play That Funky Music, White Boy. Yep, there was no way I could leave this one behind. It includes the music videos for Ice Ice Baby, Play That Funky Music, and Stop That Rain. I got this MGM book box edition of North by Northwest. But I'm really excited about this book box edition of The House Where Evil Dwells. I absolutely love that cover. I grabbed the media release of Patty Hearst on VHS. And I got a VHS copy of Patrick to go along with the Patrick t-shirt that came in the VHS packaging my buddy Abnormalin sent me. Back to some full moon tapes with Castle Freak. This here is actually the R-rated cut, which is less common than the unrated cut. And Meridian, Kiss of the Beast, starring Sherilyn Fenn. A young Sherilyn Fenn. Here's one of Brad's favorites, Wishmaster. Here's one of Jason's favorites, The Babysitter. This, as you can see, is the Thorn EMI release in the clamshell case. And one of my favorites, Ninja 3, The Domination. This tape is also ridiculously expensive. Here's one I reviewed during the Slashback Challenge this year. A screening copy of Murders in the Zoo. No sense in showing the back, it's just a white box. This one's pretty rare. It's a Lightning video release of Topsy Turvy. I've never seen the movie, but based on what I've read, it sounds pretty good. Yet again, more full moon with Shadow Zone. Next we have The Watcher, starring James Spader, Marissa Tomei, and Keanu Reeves. I find this one to be very underrated. Here's another one starring Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino, Devil's Advocate. It's a common tape, but an awesome movie. Here's one I'm very excited to officially own on VHS, because this movie used to have a lot of bootlegs in circulation. Spider Baby. This is the Anchor Bay Collector's Edition. It opens up like this, and here's the back, with a very young Sid Haig. Now this is pretty awesome. It's the Japanese VHS release of Graveyard Disturbance. This movie was never officially released on VHS in the US. It did, however, receive a DVD release, but it went out of print not long after it was released. I love this cover, I love this movie, and I'm so happy to officially own it. I found a copy of Valentine on VHS, pretty cool. That looks nice on the shelf next to My Bloody Valentine, Cupid, and Lover's Lane. Another Hitchcock title for my VHS collection, Rear Window. The Last Stop, starring Rose McGowan. I was thrilled to find this one at a local antique store because it's a pretty rare made-for-TV movie, The Hunted. It stars Harry Hamlin and Machen Amick, and I will watch anything with Machen Amick. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. This is the tape that also includes the Tummy Trouble cartoon featuring Roger Rabbit. A movie which for some reason I did not own prior to this, Hollow Man. Here's a tape I recently featured in a Rare Movies Not on DVD or Blu-ray video, Tattoo. I mentioned in that video that the Scream Factory release for this has been canceled. And for you WWE or WWF fans, here's Mayhem in Manchester. Here's one I had been eyeing at my local antique store every time I went in, and I finally went back for it. Two to Tango. I don't know too much about this one, but from what I've read, it seems to be a remake of a foreign film. This is pretty cool. I found this at the same antique store. It's Tommy and the Rumblers Live, Triskaidekaphobia Tour, Friday the 13th at the Boathouse. Obviously, it's the Jason mask and Axe guitar on the cover that caught my attention. But what's really cool is on the back, it's actually signed by all the band members. And I love how that guy's wearing a Jason mask. I don't know too much about this one, so if you guys do, comment below and let me know what you know. Next up, we have Chuck Norris as the Hitman. Here's an odd one for you. Get Street Smart, a kid's guide to stranger dangers. Learn with Corny how kids can avoid kidnappers. That's right, that alien on the cover there with the overalls, his name is Corny. And for that cover alone, I had to have this in my collection. Here's a very rare horror anthology with another awesome cover. Tales of the Third Dimension. I love that guy right there. I've never been a huge Godzilla fan, but for some reason, the cover of this one always intrigued me. So when I found it on VHS, I had to pick it up. It's Godzilla 1985. This is the New World VHS release. And to go along with that one, I picked up Godzilla from 1998, because, well, why not? Here's a rare slasher I will definitely be discussing more in the future. Stones of Death. I finally picked up a copy of Curse of the Puppet Master on VHS to go along with Puppet Masters 1 through 5, which I already own. Which meant I obviously also had to pick up Retro Puppet Master. Here's Deadly Seduction, more famously known as Blind Date, directed by Nico Mastorakis. It's the same Blind Date released on VHS under that title, released on DVD, and released on Blu-ray. But this Deadly Seduction alternate title is a bit more difficult to track down. I love these cast covers. Kirstie Alley is front and center to promote the film. In fact, she sort of does promote the film, because if you want to see her in all her glory, then this is the movie to watch. Here's a very rare and very expensive double feature screening tape of The Pack and the more highly sought after Dead In, starring Edgar Allan Poe IV. He's exactly who you think he is. Here's another tough one to obtain, The Satan Killer. This is the AIP release on VHS. Dave Maggot, I hope you're watching, buddy. You were talking about this one not long ago on the stream. Here's my copy of Fatal Games. Wow, this was very annoying tracking down a copy of this. But not nearly as annoying as trying to track down a copy of this movie, Something of Mine. I reviewed this one earlier this year during the Slashback Challenge, and I recently showed this tape in a Rare Movies Not on DVD or Blu-ray video. In that video, I mentioned how my copy is actually signed by the director. How cool is that? Something of Mine is one of the rarest VHS tapes in my entire collection now. But so is this one, The Witching. I never thought I'd find a copy. Like Something of Mine, this one is almost impossible to find. But here it is. And finally, let's end this update with another big boy tape. It's Robo Vampire. This here is the official Japanese VHS release. As rare as the US release is, this one is so much harder to find. I reviewed Robo Vampire last week, and I mentioned how I fell in love with the film and needed to own it on VHS. So I immediately scoured the internet trying to find a copy. As luck would have it, I was searching for it at the right time, because I found this one, and it arrived since then. This, among others in this update, is a pride and joy of my collection, and I will display it proudly on my shelf. Well, there it is, guys. A huge VHS haul, if I do say so myself. What do you think? Which of the tapes shown were you most excited to see? Comment below and let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. Be kind, subscribe.